Let's talk a little bit more about what the virtues are to fill this in a little bit. Virtues are traits of character. Aristotle says they're habitual inclinations to behave in certain ways or feel certain things. We'll go over the terminology a little bit more in the next set of videos. You'll have noticed that in your life, some people have a tendency to, say, offer to help other people when they can, or cooperate well with others, or to stand up and support someone who's being picked on, or to keep fairly calm and collected even when they're provoked, or to feel grateful when other people help them, or to stick with a project even if they're having trouble with it. You'll notice them behaving that way again and again as they go through life. The people who have those tendencies have the virtues of kindness, benevolence, courage, self-control, gratitude, and endurance. There's a whole long set of virtues. I wrote a list of some of them above this video, and each of those virtues are different ways of taking up your potential and making it actual. Each of them will draw on slightly different sets of potentials that come from your essence, and each will utilize that set of potentials a little bit differently. That means that if you're trying to exercise all the virtues, you are actualizing your essence like a champ. So to really fully flourish, to take up all of your human potential and make it actual, you should pursue all of the virtues. Sometimes nowadays you hear people talk about using your potential or living up to your potential, and we sometimes have kind of a narrow modern definition of what that means. Like living up to your potential means getting a good job or excelling at sports or music. And Aristotle does not dismiss the importance of making a decent living or playing sports or music. He points out that it's very hard to pursue the virtues if you have to worry about money all the time, and excellence at sport is one virtue, so is musical talent. But remember that for Aristotle, this all goes back to the facts that your essence makes you what you are. That essence has a fundamental drive to be actualized, and actualizing it will therefore be the most profoundly satisfying thing that you can do. Making a decent living is a condition of pursuing virtue. It will be hard to be virtuous if you don't know when your next meal is coming from. And some jobs will help you take up and use potential. But if you concentrate too hard on your career, it can interfere with you pursuing the rest of the virtues, and you'll only end up using a sliver of all your human potential. Similarly with sports or music, it's good to pursue those, but if it starts to interfere with your ability to pursue other virtues, then that is bad for your flourishing. Flourishing humans are humans who are courageous, kind, cooperative, grateful, persevering, self-controlled, patient, honest, and fair. And to the extent they're able, also, ideally, musical and sporty. Someone who's a musical genius or a sports star or very rich and powerful, but who isn't courageous, who doesn't throw in to help others or contribute to their community or family, who isn't grateful or patient or honest or fair, is not a flourishing person. That person is actualizing some of their essence. They've developed their potential quite a lot in one narrow way, but they failed to take up all of their potential and make it actual. Flourishing people have good jobs that give them enough money to live on comfortably, and hopefully take up and use facets of their potential, but they are definitely not so caught up in their career that they can't be virtuous in all these other centrally important ways. Flourishing humans are teaching one another, learning from one another, experimenting to learn new things, working on projects, helping with others' projects, socializing, but not to excess, playing sports, playing music, and contributing to their communities. All of those behaviors and states of mind are virtues. Okay, I'm hopeful that made a little more sense of how virtue is central to and necessary for a flourishing human life. And hey, guess what? You are using the heck out of your reason right now. You're welcome. Contact me if you have any questions, and as always, I recommend that you watch the videos at least twice and carefully review your notes before you move on to the next project. Thanks for your time and attention.